Punch EV kakali electric kepadang spelida ke Tata Motors ke bapaka bhabannya akin nong ba kum juru sya kin nong kendong na maru battery UI hadu saus pa ar 2 kilometer. Tadapi kuat ban test drive ya ke kakali electric kila banuan ke showroom jang Frank Motors ke bahapo lat korban hamau lain mau.
Tata.tv
Menteri Rangba ke Jylla Kuanrat ke Sangma, Ulong ba ke Jingpynphai ke Kaiphod, ha Comptroller Auditor of General of India CAG, ba ke Sorkar Jylla ke klaim IT, ya ke Utilization Certificate UC ya kumpa saus pateli ki dei jong ke Sorkar Jylla. Bat kim don jinga dei AA bat ke Sorkar India. Haba kred menta ke sngi ulong ba kini ki UC ki dei ba ki tenat ke Sorkar Jylla kimpan IT ya ki UC sya ki tenat ya rong Pisa ke Jylla. Ha ka ba kam don AA ke jinga dei bat ke Sorkar India. Ulong ba ha ke Sorkar Jylla haba pentrikam ni ki projek ki tenat Sorkar Jylla ki dei ban IT ya ki UC ba ki lapendap ya ki kam jongki. Ulong ba haba ke Sorkar Jylla ke pentrikam ni ki projek kum ke jingsnai ki school sub center bat ki wei ki tenat badai pet ki hab ban IT ya ki UC sya ke tenat ya rong Pisa ke Jylla bat kani ke dei ke sinjam ke Biang naga benta banuan ra ya ke jingshai ha ke ba pentrikam ya ki projek. Hado lai poi tarik ulber jar pulai ki don sauspa san pusaut ligi UC ki blakot syaka lai jar sauspa lai penriu point iwe klur tingka ki bakhlem pat IT ya ki UC syaka tenat pla tingka ka Jylla. Bat kani ka Pisa ka dei ka ba ka Sorkar Jylla syaka tenat kum ka grant bante ya ki school bat ki wede. Ha ka jo ka por uloang ba ka jingkado ka CAG ba ka Sorkar Jylla ka Jingpynphai ka Pisa kam dei satya. Commissioner Secretary badai pet ya ka tenat ya rong Pisau Dr. Vijay Kumar haba pensyai halor kani. Uloong ba haba kamang tingka kadai ka jingkmi linti ni antat ya ka jingmi bat ka jingpenlut na marba ka Pisa kam wan shisin. Kamuan season 1. Namar ba ka Pisa kamuan season 1. Haga jo ka por ukon rat ulong ba don pat kitenat ki ba pinlut tam na ka jingmang Pisa ba day na kaniga daw ba ka Sorkar ka juwan ra ya ka supplementary demand haying dorbar. Henry haba ka Biang ka jingwan Pisa pat ka Sorkar ka juwan ra da ka appropriation bill haka ba hapo kitenat Sorkar laban Jingpynphai ya ka Pisa na ka way sya ka way pat.
It's quite funny actually, to be very frank, and it's good that you've asked me this question and allowed me to clarify. The CAG report, which mentioned about 400 UCs that have not been submitted, are purely state UCs, which means the Education Department of Government of Meghalaya, the UCs which have to be submitted to the Finance Department of Government of Meghalaya have not been submitted by our own state department. The UCs that have been submitted by the Health Department of Government of Meghalaya to the Finance Ministry for the funds, Finance Ministry Government of Meghalaya, for the funds we have given to them have not been submitted by our own departments. This has nothing to do with the UCs. Not a single one of them has anything to do with the UCs of Government of India. So whether Government of Meghalaya owes or has to submit any UCs to Government of India, yes, maybe one or two UCs here and there, the normal ones are pending, but not the scale of the 400 plus that was mentioned. These are purely Meghalaya government's internal UCs expected by the Finance Ministry of Government of Meghalaya from the departments of the Government of Meghalaya, because that's how accountability is held. And this is an internal government exercise, which is a good thing, because the state governments also, the state departments also, they have to be accountable. When we give the money, they have to give the Finance Ministry the UC, so that our ministry, which means state governments, together. So that is what the CAG has mentioned. It has nothing to do with the UCs of central government. Yeah, it's not, but it's within the state government. There are a large number of things happening. Now, for example, we give money. We are going for mission school. So, as example, I'm just saying. I'm not saying that the number is what I'm saying, but just to give an example to you. So, when we give the money for mission school, which is the money we raise from the cess that we have in mining, the money that we give to them, once they complete the project, they have to submit the UCs to us. So it's like that. So there could be UC for 10 schools, 15 schools, 20 schools that are not there. So 15 UCs come up from there. We gave money for improving a particular sub-center from the finance department. The UC for that has not come in. So like that. So these are normal internal matters. Every small UC of just even 10 lakhs, 15 lakhs to large amount of 100 crores, 200 crores, whatever we are giving to the different departments, these are utilizations within the state government's state's jurisdiction.
This is exactly what I said. So when we do budget, so we have a budget
So budget is not, this is what we keep telling everyone, budget is not the amount of money that the government has at that time guaranteed. Budget is an expectation of how much money we will have. Because also we don't get money in one go. The state gets money every month in taxes. The share of taxes that come from Government of India come on a monthly basis. Some monies come on a quarterly basis. So when we make the budget, it's an expectation. So that's what I said, that we make, let's say this year's budget is a 27,000 crore. 27,072 is the size of our budget. But at the end, we may end up spending only 24,000. So that depends on how much money we get under, as we explained, the special capital assistance, various centrally sponsored schemes. So all these are unknowns. So what happens is all departments make budget. At the end of it, the budgeting exercise and the accounting exercise is such that, let's say if a department has asked for 100 rupees, that is there in their budget, but they only spend 90 rupees because they did not get 100 rupees either from Government of India in a central scheme or from the state government, because state government also maybe at the time of budgeting they were committed 100 rupees, but because we don't have enough money, if we gave them only 90 rupees. So that 10 rupees is what is called a surrender of savings. It doesn't mean, so there are two things. There is surrender of savings, there is excess expenditure. So some departments also used to do excess expenditure, means their budget is only 100, but they are spending 110. But that we have stopped now with the digital systems we have. No department can do extra expenditure. Now only surrender is possible. So this surrender of savings does not mean that money is there and they did not spend it. It is only budget is there and they did not spend it. And the difference is that budget can always be there, but budget may be there, but as I said, Government of India might not have given that money, state might not have given that money. So it's a surrender of the budget. It's not a surrender of the money. That's the difference.
So I just to again add to what Commissioner Secretary said, that basically when we make a budget, it's a policy kind of a statement. It's like you making a budget for home. You say, okay, this year we're going to spend this much on fuel. This year we're going to spend this much on building up our house. Or this much we're going to spend on buying few things for the house. It's a budget is a desire of us wanting to do something. So we come up with a number based on the demands that are placed by the different departments. But as I said, as we move along, sometimes we have the funds, sometimes we don't get the funds, and we're not able to actually raise the money for that. And sometimes the departments do actually budget higher than they need to, because tomorrow suppose they want to do a project and we have the cash, but the budgetary provision is not there because it has to be passed by the assembly. That's what we go for, our financial, the demands that we demand of grant that we put in. So suppose we have got only 1,000 crores we have passed in the assembly, and suddenly, like it happened in PMAY, we got 1,700 crores from Government of India. That means 700 crores more we got than what was budgeted. In those scenarios, what happens? We go for supplementary demand. So why would we go for supplementary demand? Because we got extra cash from Delhi, but budgetary provision was not passed by the assembly in the original budget, and hence we go for SD. That's what's called supplementary demands. And that's how we go ahead. So therefore, for scenarios like that also, departments sometimes do look at areas where they say, oh, let's have a bit of a kind of a cushioning for ourselves, so that in case funds come in, we don't have to go for supplementary demand. Then we can simply do what we call reappropriation, which is within the department, from one head to another head, you can reappropriate without going for additional sanction or additional kind of supplementary demands that are there. So these kind of financial aspects also come in. So what Commissioner Secretary has clarified, that this is not cash being surrendered, but this is the budgetary provision for which we were not able to raise, or the cash did not come through. So those budgetary provisions were then surrendered back.